Hello, hello, my friends. It is that time of the week. It is time for me to share with you guys my Friday Five. This is a weekly series I attempt to do every week here on my channel, where I share with you guys 5 candles that are currently in my burn rotation, give you guys some like real-time thoughts. I also like to use this as kind of my weekly catch-all. So if there are any small hauls, I like to share that with you guys. And if there's any kind of like candle news or whatnot, it's just kind of a weekly little sit down in front of the camera and share those thoughts with you guys. So I do have a small haul to share with you guys at the end of this video, and y'all are going to probably be absolutely shocked by some of the candles I'm going to share with you guys at the end of this video. So as always, you guys, I will have all of the candles that I talk about today listed in the description box down below with timestamps. Any affiliate discount codes can be found down there. And yeah, this is just kind of my fun little, let's just take a little break and talk about something fun and frivolous in the world, which for me is home fragrance slash candles. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you feel like you vibe with me and want to stick around, please hit the subscribe button. But let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and dive on in to the candles that I have been burning this last week. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with a Caramel Sundays candle, which honestly, you guys, I actually this week, I've been burning obviously a ton of fragrances, but 2 of the candles that I wanted to highlight this week from Caramel Sundays are oldies, right? They were released a little bit earlier this year, but I've had them sitting in my stash because I felt like this time of year was going to be the most appropriate time to burn them. For me personally, I'm a seasonal burner. There are certain fragrances that just feel appropriate at certain times of the year. And one of those fragrances is Circus Candy Cloud. Circus Candy Cloud has fragrance notes of sweet spun cotton candy, toffee drizzle, warm buttery popcorn, crisp Macintosh apples. Now, I believe that this was initially offered in the March restock, and then I think they restocked it again in April. And I think I remember telling you guys when this candle was initially launched, and that was the first month that Caramel Sundays had brand ambassadors, which I am one. That was actually during the time that I was taking a little bit of a social media break. I honestly was just burned out and needed some time to just kind of like recalibrate and get my mind right? We all should do that every once in a while. And anyways, I remember when I placed my first ambassador pre-order, I did not order this candle initially because that buttery popcorn note in the middle made me really, really nervous. However, you guys, I did eventually end up buying 2 of these. So I ended up buying one. Once I started hearing my fellow ambassadors talk about it in their pre-order, I ordered one in a 2-wick in March, and then I ordered another 2-wick in the month of April. Now, Circus Candy Clouds, I am going to tell you guys, I do detect a little bit of that popcorn element, but it's very, very subdued. To me, this is in the realm, in the vein, I would say, of Bath & Body Works Summer Boardwalk. Is it an exact dupe? No. I would say it's like a cousin. It's in that family. If you tend to like fragrances that have a little bit of that like gourmand, caramel, like caramel popcorn type of vibe going on, but then there's the sweetness in this. I definitely smell some sweetness of a cotton candy. Yeah, this is really, really nice. And there's a tinge of apple, a little bit of sweetness from the apple. Caramel Sundays uses an apple note that I have concluded that I really, really like. The apple note that they use is like a Macintosh apple. It's, they use one in their Crisp Country Apple, which is coming back in their August restock. It's a very, very bright apple. And while it's a little bit more subdued in this candle, I still do get it. Now, here's the thing with this one. I did end up buying 2 of these because I didn't want a full 4-wick. You guys know I'm always trying to like just like, I don't want to say just get through my candles, but you guys know as a reviewer, I get a lot coming through my collection or my stash. And I like the satisfaction of finishing up a candle. And so at that time, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get another 2-wick. Here's the thing with this one, and I think I noted when I did my dedicated review on this, that the first burn of this candle took a long time to start throwing. But it's funny because then successive burns, it was decently strong. And then by the time it gets to the middle, it kind of tames down a little bit. Now, I am going to say I have 2 of these, so I've been burning both of these. I burned one out here in the living room and then one in my bedroom. because I just love the fragrance so much. And I find that scratches the itch for me. If this were to return next year in a 4-wick format, I probably would repurchase it. I do like this fragrance enough. But again, for me, it kind of gives me those Summerween vibes. In the 2-wick format, I would say that this is probably at the most about a 7 for me. But again, these 2-wicks, sometimes you guys, I find that, and this is soy wax just in general, I feel like can be this way. But yeah, I do remember the very first burn of this one was very light for me, but then successive burns were okay. I also feel like this one might be slightly stronger than it was when I initially got it in late March, early April, because it's been sitting a couple of months more. But Circus Candy Clouds did have to make an appearance this week. Now we are going to talk about a fragrance that I actually showed you guys last week in this series, in my last week's Friday 5. This was part of the haul that I got from Gift Gala. Now, if you caught my declutter video on Sunday, you will actually know that I already decluttered one of those candles, which was very surprising. It ended up being the spice covered one, which I loved on cold sniff. But here's the thing I mentioned in that declutter video. I don't love, I'm starting to realize my nose does not like cardamom in wax warmed. I love it on cold, but something about when the flame is taken to it, my nose does not like it. However, the other candle that I showed you, one of the other candles I showed you, was Blankets and Books from Gift Gala. I'm going to tell you guys, I really like this 3-wick vessel. I think I'm concluding with Gift Gala, and there's another brand over at That Candle Place. I think that I like both of their vessels in a 3-wick more. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, with Caramel Sundays, their 4-wick is probably my most preferred vessel. I don't always have access to the 4-wicks in my pre-order, and so that's why I'll oftentimes order the 2-wick. But I think I'm concluding that I like a 3 or 4-wick format for my home. It just seems to perform best for me. So this 3-wick of Blankets and Books. Blankets and Books has fragrance notes of pumpkin vine, cinnamon bark, clove spice, caramelized amber, and smoldering ember. And you guys, I had this lit last week in my bedroom. This is a very pretty, kind of an evening fragrance. This is for those of you guys who tend to like a little bit more sophisticated, elevated fragrances, spice, but not necessarily screaming like a bakery gourmand scent. This is an elevated take on gourmand, in my opinion. My friend Amy did a review on this, and she said that she was really loving it. My nose definitely detects some cinnamon bark and clove spice. It's not like super red hot cinnamon in here. I get clove. Clove is what I smell more so, but again, the clove is not bitey either. The clove and the cinnamon in here are very well balanced. The pumpkin vine is giving this some earthiness, and smoldering ember, something slightly smoky, but this is not even like, say, I did my Caramel Sundays haul where there's October embers, or if you're familiar with Cringle's Warm and Toasty, or even the ember note that you would find or the smoky note you would find in Bath & Body Works Marshmallow Fireside. I'm not detecting here. It's just a very, very, very slight. I feel like the ember note is probably giving some additional layer of warmth to this candle. Again, very sophisticated vibes. Now, I am going to say that I've only burned this in my bedroom so far. It's performed quite well in the closed concept. I would say in there right now, if I were to move it out in the living room, I'm not so sure that it would be a super strong scent, because in my bedroom, it's probably about a 6, I would say, in terms of the strength. The throw is good. It definitely fills up that whole room, but I do need to try it out here in the living room. I have been burning it with Cringle candles, what is it called? Silver Eucalyptus. That's a beautiful combination. This would also go really nicely with Cringle's White Pumpkin and Sage, which both of those fragrances, you guys, are a little bit more elevated takes on, they're not like your traditional gourmand type of fragrance. But this has been very, very pretty. Yeah, I really, really like this one. Now, I did place an ambassador pre-order with the Gift Gala for a couple of fragrances that they're going to be having from, oh, what's the collection called? It's called October something. I can't remember, you guys. My brain is a little right now. I'm filming this later in the afternoon. I'll have it written across here what the October Traditions. I want to say maybe it's October Traditions. But anyways, I am ordering 3 other candles, and I did request them in this format because I do really, really like this format. Now, I just mentioned what my preferred format is with caramel sundaes, and here we go, you guys. I'm bringing out another fragrance that I actually think I bought this in January of this year, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to put that aside for fall because this is a fall fragrance, and maybe some of you guys had this one in your collection. This is a great time to bring it out. This is the fragrance Salted Caramel Apple Crunch. So when this was released in January, I thought it was an interesting offering because I was like, that sounds like a fall fragrance to me. But I know that Sierra has been really open about saying that she's not really a seasonal burner. She loves gourmand fragrances year round, particularly apple. So it's probably not surprising that she offered this one, that she and John offered this. So the fragrance notes are baked apples, ginger, what is that? Ginger butter, cinnamon sugar, patchouli, baking spices, and pie crust. So this one is very good. Now I am going to say that I do smell the ginger butter in here. That does give it a little bit more density. The apple note in here is also different for my nose than the apple note that I get, say, in Crisp Country Apple, the Oat Orchard, Nutty Nightmare. This is a little bit more of, dare I say, the apple almost smells a little bit boozy to my nose. There's something that's just a little bit more dense about this fragrance. I do get the spices, but again, they're not front and center to me. Little bit of a pie crust note in there. This is very, very well done. Would I feel the need to repurchase it and have more? No. I think that there's some other fragrances that are in the apple family that I enjoy more so from caramel sundaes, but you can see that I have burned quite a bit of it. I did have some wick issues, like kind of like middle of the way here, and I did have to dump a little bit of wax. But again, you guys, I did purchase this in January of this year, and I know that they have changed their wicks since then. But yeah, really nice fragrance. I have been burning it with a spicier type of candle to go alongside it, just because to my nose, you guys, I want a little bit more spice to this. And I feel like this one is just, again, it's the apple note is not as bright in here. I feel like there's a little bit more density to it. Which again is something that I've started to realize about myself, that I don't really like overly dense, buttery fragrances. And this isn't, like I said, like it's not buttery in the sense like, what's the candle we just got? Sweet Autumn. Not that buttery. But I do think I am picking up on the ginger in here. And I don't know, my nose, I don't think always loves ginger butter. There was a couple of other fragrances. What's the one? Oh, this last restock they had, what was it called? Witching Hour. My nose doesn't love that fragrance. I know a ton of people love it, but there was like a ginger snap mixed in there with the cranberry, and my nose doesn't love that combination. What's the other fragrance? There was another one I feel like that they had last winter that had a ginger butter note in it. Salt and cinnamon, or salt, something like that. But yeah, I ended up decluttering that one too because I just didn't love it. So this is a like for me. You can see I'm clearly almost done burning it. I do enjoy it. It's performing well for me in the 4-wick. I would give it out here. It's probably about an 8 in terms of strength and throw. But again, this one's going to be a one and done for me. I feel like there are some other fall fragrances that I love from them more. But the fragrance that I have been burning with the Salted Caramel Crunch is also from Gift Gala, and this is the fragrance Whispering Spice. This is from the Autumn Almanac collection, and it is, this is one of their 2-wick amber style vessels. Now I am going to tell you guys, I think I'm done buying this size vessel. I like that it's only 16 ounces. However, I do find that they burn a little bit hotter in here. I ended up passing along my Harvest Marmalade to my mother-in-law because I found that it was almost burning so hot that it was smelling a little bit burned. And again, I think that's probably just a byproduct of the vessel. However, I think with Whispering Spice, I'm not really having that effect. So Whispering Spice has fragrance notes of toasted pumpkin, autumn spices, whipped buttercream, smoked vanilla. This fragrance to me, you guys, fully transparent, this smells very, very similar to Caramel Sunday's Coffin Cake to my nose. Definitely gives me that same vibe. I do smell a little bit of like pumpkin in here. It's not overtly pumpkin. It's not something where like you would just walk into somebody's house and be like, oh, that smells like pumpkin and spices. It's like a spice cake with a little bit of pumpkin. There is a sweetness of like of a buttercream on there, but I like this scent. I'm having really good performance out of this 2-wick. I have it burning usually in the bedrooms as an accompanying scent. I was burning this the other day with that salted caramel apple crunch, and I really liked that fragrance combo. Now for me, moving forward, like next month, I do plan to purchase a 4-wick of Coffin Cake because I absolutely love that fragrance from Caramel Sundays. But this one is very, very similar. It's scratching that itch. It's getting me ready for it. If for some reason, like Caramel Sundays did not bring Coffin Cake back, then I would repurchase this like in the 4-wick vessel from Gift Gala. But yeah, this is a really nice scent. Strength and throw is pretty good on this one. I would give it a solid 7, and that's just in this little 2-wick vessel, which is pretty impressive for these smaller 2-wicks. So I do like this scent quite a bit. If you like Grandma's Kitchen, I feel like I like this one slightly better than Grandma's Kitchen, just because it's got that pumpkin element, and the smoked vanilla, again, it's not overly smoky and embery like, but it does just give it a little bit something different that sets it apart from Grandma's Kitchen. But if you like her Grandma's Kitchen, or if you've tried Coffin Cake from Caramel Sundays, I think Whispering Spice is one that you would enjoy as well. And finally, we have a Cringle candle that I wanted to talk about this week. I've actually been burning a lot of Cringle candles this week. You guys will see quite a few dedicated reviews. I know I did some the last couple of days, and then I have quite a handful of them more coming up for you guys this next week. But I finally was able to burn this candle yesterday because we're going to be segueing into the haul portion of this video after I talk about this one, and you guys will see why. So I finally started burning Cypress and Sea Spray. Now this was part of the summer collection. This was part of their first launch, debuting these new 3-wick vessels. Cypress and Sea Spray has fragrance notes of fig, bergamot, fig leaf, jasmine, lily of the valley, fig tree wood, cedar wood, vanilla. Did you catch in there? There's a lot of fig, fig, fig. This is a very fig forward fragrance. Now to me, this is a green fig. It's a bright fig. It's quite strong. You guys, I am going to say in this 3-wick, this candle I lit, and within 5 minutes, I was starting to smell it throw. And it was not even fully pulled out. I've only burned it one time. I burned this yesterday for honestly, I burned it a little bit too long, because here's one of the things. While I love this fragrance, this was about a 9 for me on terms of strength and throw. And I was burning it with one of the candles that was just delivered to me this week from Cringle. And I did find that while I enjoy the fragrance profile, if it's burning for more than 3 hours, my nose starts to have enough of it. My nose is like, okay, we're done after that. And we've had enough. But this is really pretty, you guys. I really, really like this fig fragrance. If you are somebody who loves a good fresh fig scent, particularly going into the month of August, which for me is oftentimes like a transition from summer to fall, not ready for all of the apple and spice, but fig for whatever reason just fits that time of year for me. And this is really good, you guys. Really nice green, fresh fig. Oh my word, let's speak. I'm not sure if the name of this is accurate, Cypress and Sea Spray. But yeah, this is absolutely beautiful. Very strong. Again, it's the 3-wick for me. I can't even imagine how strong this one would be in a 4-wick, but this was very good. But again, probably one that I need to put out after a couple of hours. So we're going to segue into the little haul that I had this week. We're going to start out with my Cringle haul. So the fragrance that I purchased to burn alongside with Cypress and Sea Spray is Velvet Fig. So Velvet Fig was part of the fall 2025 collection. We have fragrance notes of ripe fig, sweet, cognac, creamy, amber, tonka, and woody. And here's the thing that I'm going to say about this Velvet Fig. First and foremost, this one I initially had in the 2-wick last year when they sent it to me in PR. And while I enjoyed the fragrance, it was not super strong for me. It was definitely a fragrance that I had to relegate to the closed concept bedrooms of my home. The fragrance got lost out here in the open concept. However, this 4-wick has been sitting for over a year. This has a pour date of June 27th, 2025. And I can tell you guys, this one in the 4-wick is much stronger than I remember the 2-wick being. Now this to me, as is pictured here, is definitely more of a purple fig. There is something about this fragrance that actually smells a little bit more autumnal. I do pick up on the cognac in here. There is a slight booziness. It's a sweet booziness, but it is there. Fig is dominant. There's a creaminess to it. This is like a creamy fig scent, little bit of woodiness. I actually feel like pairing this one, you guys, oh my gosh, my hand hurts from holding that. Pairing Velvet Fig with Cypress and Sea Spray is a great pairing for this time of year, because the Cypress and Sea Spray is more like of a summer fig, and then this is coming together with an autumnal fig. They complement each other really beautifully, but they're different fragrances, right? They're different, but they complement each other. And I feel like, again, they're just fully representing the time of year. We're coming towards the closeout of summer, not officially, right? I know fall doesn't actually start until the end of September. We still have like another 2 months officially of summer. But I don't know. It's a beautiful fragrance combination. I know that I've seen others put these two together, and it's a great pairing. So I did get Velvet Fig. And then the other candle, if you are in the Cringle Facebook group, you guys saw me post about this the other night. I did pick up Autumn Harvest. Now, this is a fragrance that was around previously, I believe, in the Country Candle lineup. And this was a returning fragrance this year when Cringle released their fall collection back in early July. Now, I did receive that collection in PR. I did receive 6 of the 7 fragrances. This was the 7th fragrance that they did not send to ambassadors in PR. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and purchase it just to give it a try. I know a lot of people were really excited to see it return, but I had never tried it before. So I was like, you know, let's get my nose on it. The fragrance notes are bayberry, anise star, caramel, fruity, cinnamon, clove, pumpkin spice, moss. Does it say moss there? No, musk. I'm sorry. Musk, powdery, and sweet milk. Now, this has a pour date of July 1st, 2026. So here's the thing, you guys, with this one, and I mentioned this in the Facebook group. When I initially got this in, I was like, I don't know what I think about this, because my friend McKenna did her haul video the other day, and she described it very much. This is how I would describe it. It smelled like spiced, sweetened, condensed milk. On cold, you guys, and even now when I'm smelling it on cold, there is a lactonic note that I definitely pick up in the background, but the rest of the fragrances are kind of spicy. And not spicy in like your traditional cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, fall spice. This is definitely, like, I get some clove, I get a little bit of cinnamon in there, I get the star anise. I think the bayberry maybe presents maybe a little bit of sweetness. Like there's some fruit, but this is not an overly sweet fragrance. It says fruity, whatever that means. But there is like a powdery sweet milk accord in the background. Somebody else I was speaking to behind the scenes said it made him think of baby vomit. And I was like, oh gosh, now I have that thought in my mind. I'm going to tell you guys, on cold, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to film this video. I want to at least give you guys some thoughts about what I think about it on burn. And I'm going to tell you guys, last night I burned this, and I see why people are excited about this. I am very happy to report that upon burn, this is not super lactonic like I thought it was going to be. On burn, this is still a sweet fragrance, but it's not like cloyingly sweet. It strikes a very beautiful balance of not being too dense for my nose. There are some spices in here. There's yeah, it's really kind of hard for me to describe. When I wrote it out, I said that the spices are working in harmony with each other, instead of sometimes when you get a spicy fragrance blend, you notice that like the cinnamon really is forward, or the nutmeg is really the star. This one, there's no real like star of the show. There is a maybe like a sweetness and a warmth that would come from a caramel note in here, and typically my nose does not like the way that Cringle does caramel. But in here, because it can come across as scorched to my nose, I'm not detecting anything like that. Now, I will say that there is still maybe a little bit of like a sweet, milky lactonic base, but it just doesn't seem as dense, and almost lactonic notes when they're burning can come across as sour to my nose. And I'm very happy to say that when this was burning, it wasn't sour to my nose. There was nothing sour about it. It was the spices blended beautifully with it. You guys know that the new brown butter pear, I said that one smelled like sweet cream cheese to me on burn, and thankfully that's not what's going on with this one. This one is really nice. Yeah, I do see the hype about it. Now, one of the things that I think a lot of people were pointing out, and I know that Carrie, who is one of my fellow Kringle ambassadors, she had posted about this in the Facebook group. So there is a Halloween candle that is returning in part 1 called Graveyard Night, and I think that the fragrance notes are almost the exact same on the two. A lot of people say that they're the same fragrance. So if you already have Graveyard Night in your collection, you probably don't need to purchase Autumn Harvest, or if you've had Graveyard Night in the past and you've liked it, but maybe you like the packaging on Autumn Harvest a little bit better, then you could probably go for this one. It just is what it is. I know Graveyard Night is returning this year, and that'll be available on August 7th with Cringle. But yeah, I'm very happy to report back that I like this one a lot better. First burn was decent for me. I would say it was about a 7 in terms of strength and throw, which was perfect for me because some of these gourmands, if they get too heavy, I end up not enjoying them as much. All right, you guys, are you ready now for the wild, unexpected, I cannot even believe it, that she purchased these candles. Who is she becoming? So last weekend, Cody and I were running some errands, and I had a little return exchange to do over at Bath & Body Works. And you guys know I haven't purchased a Bath & Body Works candle in over a year. I am somebody who still, I really do burn a lot of 100% soy wax candles. And I just to expound upon that a little bit, you guys, for me personally, the reason why I do that and why the ingredients matter for me is that because on my channel, I am burning so many candles all the time. Like I pretty much burn a candle from sunrise until like from the time I wake up in the morning to probably about an hour before I go to bed every night. That's a lot of burn time in my house. And I have air filters and I have all of the things. But because I am burning so many candles with my channel here, that's a lot. It's a lot. And so for me, I do have some concerns about the quality of the candles that I am burning in my home. I know for the casual candle burner, they probably don't. If you only burn a candle maybe 1 or 2 hours a day, you're probably not going to be as concerned as I'm going to say this, you probably shouldn't be. Who cares, right? So that for me is one of the reasons why I don't purchase a lot of Bath & Body Works candle. And in addition to that, I will say that one of the reasons why I stopped buying was just because I was noticing I was having so many burn issues with the wicks. So many. Like every candle would dud out halfway. And I was just tired of it. I was like, I would rather just buy the candles that are performing well for me. Anyways, you guys know that. It's well documented, but just wanted to put that out there. However, if there is a season that Bath & Body Works can suck me back in and pique my interest, it will always be fall. And you better believe that if they return with my Winter White Woods this year, which no brand from my soy wax loving, I love soy wax, but nobody's duped this fragrance yet. If they return with my beloved Winter White Woods, I will stock up. I will get more of that because that's such a nostalgic fragrance with me. And I'm going to say Bath & Body Works, where they suck me in, is they do have some fragrances that are very nostalgic to me. So I had a 20% coupon. And of course, now this weekend, they're having a $12.95 sale. I think last week it was a $10 off sale, which I think put these around like 14 and some change. And I had a 20% coupon. So I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and purchase a couple. So one of the first fragrances that I ended up purchasing was a very nostalgic fragrance for me. Again, it's not one that I've seen duped in soy wax yet, is Pumpkin Clove. Pumpkin Clove has fragrance notes of clove buds, ground cinnamon, a pinch of nutmeg, and fresh pumpkin. And this one, you guys, it's just nostalgic to me. It is just, I don't know. I love this one. I think it's because I burned it so much in the past. I think of when my children were younger. I think of hosting people and friends over here when my football team was actually decent on Sundays. Now I won't even pay the YouTube TV subscription to watch them because they're so awful. But yeah, I love this fragrance. It goes well with so many other candles in my collection. I can put this with another pumpkin scent. I can put this with kind of a more fresh apple type of vibe. I just love this one. And I have to say, I will give it to Bath & Body Works. I do like this packaging quite a bit. I'm rooting for them, you guys. I am just going to say, like, I am rooting for Bath & Body Works. I would love to see them increase the quality of their products, because the reality is, at the end of the day, most people purchase from them because they are easily accessible, not only with the amount of stores that they offer, but also their price point is pretty accessible to a lot of people. And so I wish that they would perform better. That's my biggest thing. Like, be better, Bath & Body Works, because I want to purchase from you. But yeah, I just haven't been able to. Now, these do have those very thick tree stump wicks, so I'm not thinking that this is going to give me excellent performance, but I keep an open mind. I'm going to go in with an open mind here with BBW. So pumpkin clove definitely sucked me in. Now, I am going to say, I purchased another candle, and let me know if this ever happens to you guys, where you go in store, you smell something, you like it, then you come home and you smell it again and you're like, oh, I don't think I like that as much. And that's what happened to me with this fragrance. I don't know if it was maybe nostalgia that got to me, but I did purchase white pumpkin. And I am going to tell you guys that I am planning to take this back and exchange it, because first and foremost, white pumpkin has fragrance notes of gingered white pumpkin, caramel glaze, and warm blended spices. When I got home, you guys, I'm smelling something in here that I don't like. I think it's their take on the gingered pumpkin. Yeah, I think it's the ginger note in here that I am not loving. So I haven't burned it yet, but I am going to take it back in. I do know, I have heard from some people who are in the know and who work for Bath & Body Works that there are some leaves flankers that have been released this weekend. And there's one in particular, I want to say it's like Fireside and Leaves or something like that. I'm really intrigued. So I am actually planning to run some errands this weekend. Excuse me, down, we call it down in the valley where we live. Planning to run some errands, and I'm going to pop into a Bath & Body Works to exchange this and kind of just sniff around and see if there's anything that's come back into stock that maybe I would want to exchange this one for. But the other fragrance that I did purchase is one of their new ones, and this is the fragrance Falling Leaves and Cashmere. It has fragrance notes of soft cashmere, freshly fallen leaves, a blend of comforting spices. So I like this, you guys. It's a little bit, it's out of my wheelhouse, I would say. It's kind of a sweet fragrance. My nose definitely picks up on something sweet. Maybe something, I'm going to say it's like artificially cashmere, but I'm not mad about it. It's not the leaves that you would get like from their standard leaves. Falling leaves and cashmere, comforting spices. It's pretty. I'm just going to say, I feel like this is a very pretty fragrance for Bath & Body Works. And the reason why I purchased this was I actually think that this is going to be a really nice blending fragrance to burn with my new Caramel Sundays Pumpkin Cashmere. I feel like those two are going to play off of each other really nicely. So I was intrigued enough by this one that I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and purchase this. Again, I really like this little houndstooth pattern on here, and I think that they did a good job on it. So I did purchase those 3 candles. And then the final thing that I wanted to talk about really quickly, you guys, at the time that I am filming this, which is Thursday afternoon, this candle is still in stock on the Caramel Sundays website. I know, you guys, here we go, almost 2 weeks after restock, and they still have a couple of candles on their website. I know a lot of us are really excited to see Caramel Sundays be heading in a direction where, yes, some things still sell out right away, but they are getting better and better about pouring more. They just signed paperwork on the new warehouse to be able to store more things. And I think that a lot of us are just excited for the direction that Caramel Sundays is going, and being able to just have things stay in stock a little bit longer. So I wanted to touch on this candle really quickly because I've seen some inquiries in the Caramel Sundays Facebook group about it. A lot of us in the candle community, we shop across different brands. And so there have been just some questions about it. So I wanted to touch on it really quickly because I think this is still available in a 2-wick and a 4-wick format on the website. This is the fragrance Banana Foster. So Banana Foster has fragrance notes of caramelized bananas, brown sugar, buttercream, nutmeg, cinnamon, and woody vanilla. Now, here's the thing with this one, you guys. A lot of people are asking, how does this compare to Kringle's Bananas Foster? Because Kringle's Bananas Foster is very polarizing. People either really enjoy it, or there's people who are like, I can't get on board with that. That one is very, it's very boozy, very heavily caramelized banana. I like it in short amounts. Like I think they initially sent that one to me in PR in a 3-wick and it was too much for me. I did enjoy it a little bit more in a 2-wick. I liked pairing it with their ice cream sandwiches fragrance. But a lot of people said it's too woody, it's too boozy for me, it's too much. And so people are saying, how is the Caramel Sundays Bananas Foster? So I wanted to let you guys know it's a very different fragrance. Now, to my nose, this is it's still a sweet banana. Think like the banana fragrance or the banana note that you would get in Monkey Business. And I know a lot of people were saying it smells like Monkey Business to me, but here's what I'm going to tell you guys, the difference between this one and Monkey Business. Okay. Monkey Business, I had in a 4-wick, and when I was burning that, again, my little weirdness, it was too dense for me. I enjoyed it. I had to burn it out in the open concept in the 4-wick because it was way too much for me in a closed concept. I'm going to tell you, I've only burned this candle once, but I'm going to tell you on burn, I like this fragrance better than Monkey Business. And the reason why is that this is not as dense. And I'm going to say that the sweet banana note that you smell on cold with this one takes a little bit more of a backseat upon burn, and those spices kind of rise to the top. I will say that this is a very nice, softly spiced, caramelized banana. Now, like right now on cold, it almost smells, the banana almost smells a little bit candy-like, but I feel like when this candle is burning, there's a warmth that the banana takes on. And I think that it has to do with the spices in here. It's also like a creamy banana, but again, not too dense. I feel like this one has more of a spice element to it than Monkey Business had, which truthfully for me, I think that's what Monkey Business was missing. I'm finding that I need a little bit more spice in a lot of my gourmand fragrances for them to be enjoyable to my nose. I don't like fragrances that are just straight up like a dense, buttery type of scent. So I will say I personally like this one a little bit more than Monkey Business. I find it to be just a little bit more softly spiced banana. But also, if you are afraid of this one because of the experience that you may have had with Kringle's Bananas Foster, and again, I'm not saying that the Kringle Bananas Foster is a bad fragrance. I just know that it's been very, very polarizing in the candle community and from the Kringle faithful. A lot of people have said, oh, that was not at all what I thought it was going to be. This one is not woody, not boozy. Very, very different fragrance. So if you were interested in this one, again, at the time that I'm filming it, it's still in stock on the Caramel Sundays website in a 2-wick and a 4-wick, but wanted to give you guys my thoughts on that. So that is it for this week's little edition of the Friday 5. I know that we have Cringle, like I mentioned, will have their Halloween Part 1 collection launching on August 7th. There are 9 new fragrances, 10 returning fragrances. I think I have that correct. A lot of us ambassadors have been sharing the fragrance notes. There's a lot of chatter about it over in the Cringle Facebook group. So if you want to see what scents are going to be offered, quite frankly, you guys, there's a lot of really interesting looking fragrances being offered in the new lineup. So I'm highly intrigued because you guys know me. I'm that person that I really burn candles more so for, like I'm not a candle collector. I purchase candles to burn them, to enjoy the fragrance. So I'm really curious to get my nose on some of the new Halloween launches. I'm also really excited about the returning fragrances. There's a couple of them that I'm pretty familiar with, and I'm excited to see that they're going to be returning in the 3 and 4-wick formats. So I will have a completely separate Halloween video for you guys. I'm hoping that will be up by next weekend. There are some factors that could be playing into the timing of when I'm able to get that one filmed. But hoping to have that. I will definitely have some type of Halloween video up for you guys prior to the Halloween launch with Cringle. Let's see, Gift Gala has their, I think it's called October Traditions. Their October Traditions is going to be opening up their pre-order on, I believe it is August 7th. I think theirs is also August 7th. And so, like I said, I placed a small order for that. And yeah, I think that's about it. Like I said, this week, Bath & Body Works has a $12.95 candle sale going on. So maybe if you're interested in some fall candles, now is probably the time to stock up. And again, keep in mind this week, you guys, I will have more Cringle reviews coming up for some of the more recent 3 wicks. I know that I have reviews planned to go up of silver eucalyptus, of cedar incense, and white pumpkin and sage. I've actually already filmed all of those reviews. So those will be coming to you guys this week. And yeah, I feel like I've talked enough. So let me know in the comment box down below if you have burned any of these candles. Are any of these in your stash currently? What are you guys thinking of some of the new Bath and Body Works fall candles? Are there any fall ones that you guys have picked up recently that you're like, Katie, I really think that you should try this? I'll keep an open mind. I'll keep an open mind. But let me know in the comment section down below. I really appreciate you guys being here again. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. And once again, I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. Until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.